All right, and we are back. It is the Chunk Podcast. It is JJ. It is me, which by me I should say it is Justin. And it's just us two flying. It's not flying solo, I guess. It's flying duos. We would be readying up for duos right now. And we haven't been back. I think we haven't done a podcast in like 3 weeks. It's been a little while, and that's because I'm going to blame myself. It's 100% my fault. A lot of things have been happening. I recently got married, and I'm also delving into the voice acting world as well, so that's taken up a lot of my time. But I promise we're going to get back on schedule here with this, starting with this podcast, which is the E3 Gaming Expo recap. Just happened this week, and my jaw is still on the floor with some of these releases that are coming out. I'm getting pretty excited.
Yeah, I thought that 2018 was going to be a baller year for gaming, and it certainly has been with Horizon Zero Dawn and Destiny and oh geez, there's just so many freaking games that came out this year. But the lineup for what's shaping up for 2019 seems to be pretty incredible as well.
Yeah, I'm actually pretty upset with myself. I still haven't finished Horizon Zero Dawn.
I haven't even started.
No, my God, I'm upset with myself. I still haven't. I got pretty deep into it. I just took it out one day and it never made it back in for some reason, and I'm pretty upset with myself. But I promise I will finish that game before the end of the year.
Oh, a declarative statement.
Yes, I said it, and it'll be like December 25th. We'll be doing a Christmas podcast, and I'll be like, guys, I beat it. But anyway, outside of that, there's a lot more stuff coming, and we do have this list. User on Reddit actually compiled this ridiculous list. It's just one. Well, it's just a picture, but it's a pretty awesome list. I'll give him the specific shout out. Reddit user Specs with a Z at the end.
Good job, Specs.
Yeah, nailed it with this thing. And I'm just going to we can just run down the list here and talk about what we're excited about and what we expect from some of these games. And I only have one pre-order in the books right now at GameStop, and it is the Spider-Man game that's coming out. Looks like it's coming out September 7th, 2018 this year, and I am all kinds of giddy about that one.
Dude, the trailer that they showed in the presentation, the Sony presentation, revealing 5 out of the 6 Sinister Six members was pretty crazy. As somebody who's currently reading the comics, it was pretty interesting to see Mr. Negative included in that.
Yeah, I'd never heard anything about him until this game, which I'm pretty ashamed of myself. I'm a big Spider-Man fan, but I haven't delved into the comics that deeply. So it's going to be interesting to learn a little bit more about him.
Yeah, basically, from what I understand, his power is that when he can like mind control people and bring out the worst in them. Like, basically, he creates a negative personality, and so when he did it to Spider-Man, Spider-Man had a bad attitude for a while, kind of like the Spider-Man 3 movie that we don't really talk about. But, I mean, just looking at the combat and how seamless the combat and cinematics were, I'm super excited for this Spider-Man game.
Yeah, Spider-Man 2 for the PS2. I spent so many hours as a kid just pounding that game. It was the greatest game ever made to me. And the Spider-Man games for PS1 were some of my favorite games of all time. So if this one, I mean, obviously, I say if it can meet those expectations, it's going to obviously blow past it from everything I've seen. And we finally got good gameplay, web-slinging footage. So now we can see how that went, and I'm so excited for this game. It's going to be awesome. But did you see the very end? Like you said, 5 out of the Sinister Six. When he looks back at the camera, they don't show you who that is.
Yeah.
What do you think that is, by the way?
It's rough. I mean, it could be so many different. It could be Doc Ock. It could be Mysterio, who's going to be the bad guy for the next Amazing Spider-Man movie.
Yes.
It could be the Spider Slayer. It could be literally anybody.
Yeah. When I watched it, it looked like, I don't know if it was subtle or if it was meant to be. Maybe I was looking too much into it, but it looked like one of the raindrops on his face was slightly darker than the others. It was like almost black. I don't know. Maybe I'm just seeing things, but I don't know if that was supposed to allude to something. I don't know. I was thinking maybe Venom, but yeah, that's what I'm thinking. It could be Venom. I don't know, but we'll see about that. But that comes out September 7th, and like I said, it's the only game I have pre-ordered right now. because if I went to GameStop and started pre-ordering everything, I would go broke. We did skip over these two sports games. Madden obviously is coming out with Madden 19. Another year, another Madden. I doubt they're going to change much about it. They really haven't done anything different in years, other than that really weird story mode that they had last year. I wasn't really feeling that one.
I kind of liked it.
I mean, it was a different concept. I didn't like how not like customizable it was. You couldn't create your character and live a story. It was just like, here's a guy, watch this movie about him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2K18 definitely did a better job in their story mode.
Yeah, except for they drag it out.
Do we know who's going to be on the cover of Madden 19?
Terrell Owens, I know, will be on the Hall of Fame edition. I don't think that they've said anything about the just generic cover, but at least I know T.O. will be on a version of Madden.
I would say Nick Foles would probably be a good candidate for it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not, now or never. Now or never for him at this point. I'm not going to say he peaked right now. He's peaking, but after winning the Super Bowl, I don't know. There's not much more he can do. So,
and man, he does have a 7-touchdown game under his belt as well.
He's a tank. So EA is also releasing NBA Live 19. They're trying to compete with 2K, who really hasn't. They've kind of been spinning their tires. That would assume that they're actually revving their engine. 2K's just been sitting in the mud for the last couple of years. They haven't really done much to change anything either, except for make it very difficult to customize your players by making you spend VC points to even be relevant in that game. It's kind of tough.
Yeah, I have to say, having never played any of the other 2K games, the most recent one with the 3-on-3 street ball where you can get with your friends seemed pretty cool to me until I was just getting stomped by everybody that was 99 overall.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It was better in earlier years. A few years back, I might have been 16. I think 2K 16, maybe even 15 was like the peak of 2K, where like it was you could actually create a character, you could build them up naturally, organically without having to buy VC points. Now it's just like you have to buy VC points to even do anything, to even like train or something. It's ridiculous. But that's why EA is coming back with NBA Live 19. When they came back after the 5-year hiatus, I'm pretty sure 2K had the rights to the NBA, so they were the only ones who could make NBA games. NBA Live came back after that was over, and everybody was like, "Get out of here with that garbage." And to be honest, it was garbage. Everything I saw the gameplay about it was they picked up right where they left off 5 years ago. But it is good to me that NBA Live is coming out over and over again to at least provide some sort of competition for 2K so they can actually keep up on their game.
Right. And, I actually want to go back to the Octopath Traveler game coming out July 13th.
Okay.
It's going to be on the Switch, and it's actually, from everything that I've seen, it's kind of a callback to the RPGs of the Super Nintendo console. Okay. It's by Square Enix. It's got kind of that top-down 3D-esque world. And what's really interesting about it is it has 8 different characters with 8 different storylines. It's got the strategic turn-based combat. So I'm really looking forward to getting it and hopefully filling my nostalgia meter from that game.
Yeah, it looks like the Nintendo eShop on the Switch right now, it does. They've been doing that a lot where they've been grabbing older games and kind of like, remastering them and make them look a little bit better. But this one kind of looks like along the same thing. But you're telling me it's a new game? It's not like a reboot or like a rehashing?
Brandy new. And the graphics are actually really polished compared to like the 16-bit games of old.
Oh, that's pretty sweet. Oh, apparently there's a 3-hour demo right now that's available on the eShop for this game. Mm-hmm. So that's pretty sweet. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you get something if you do the demo.
Nice. All right. It looks like here on September 14th, Shadow of the Tomb Raider's coming out. I didn't even know that they were coming out with a sequel for Tomb Raider. Well, I should say sequel, just another Tomb Raider.
Admittedly, I didn't really know much about this game either.
Yeah.
I heard that the new imagining for the Lara Croft games is pretty good. admittedly, that's another game that's on my shelf waiting to be played.
Yeah, I haven't played the Tomb Raider game for PS4 yet either, but I do want to play it eventually. But there's just I have such a backlog on everything, and I just keep every time I turn on my PS4, it's just like it's easy for me to just turn on Rocket League or or Fortnite because it's right there. But I got to sit down and actually get into these games that I have.
Well, actually, I feel like one-player games were actually pretty well represented in this E3 conference, so we'll see more of that, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
As we go through these.
Let's see, moving down the list. Another year, another FIFA. I haven't really played FIFA that much, so I mean, we don't have to talk much about that. It's just another year, another FIFA for EA. I think that's kind of like their bread and butter at this point. Forza Horizon 4. Every year, I get an itch for like a car racing game. I want it, so maybe I'll either rent it from the Redbox for like a day, or I will actually buy it, get into it for a little bit, and then realize, okay, I'm done, and then I'll trade it back in for something. I was going to do that with Gran Turismo for PS4, and I haven't even looked or touched or even seen it in the store. I want to get a car racing game. I'm getting that itch again. And to me, when I had an Xbox 360, Forza crushed it. I thought Forza was really good. I don't know if you ever played those games.
No, I haven't really been much of a racing kind of guy. A lot of my friends have played Forza and Assetto Corsa pretty heavily on the computer side.
Yeah.
I think what turns me off is having to go in, like, tune up your car for specific courses, and
it can get
really, really exact and precise.
Yeah, Forza Horizon actually, to me, is a little more user friendly for people who aren't like, I'm gonna get under the hood of my car and hunker down these bolts. You know what I mean? Like to me, Gran Turismo is like you have to get in there and on it and like set the disposition and like, you know what I mean? Like it was like over the top. But I do like a good racing game every once in a while. But I would go online and I would turn around on the track or something and try to crash somebody because I'm that guy with racing games. I like to see like explosions and stuff. But anyway, it's still a good game. They're both great. But it seems like Forza's putting out more consistent content. It took Gran Turismo years to even get back on the console for PS4. So cool to see that. And then we're moving on. October 5th, we're finally going to get a Super Mario Party, and I'm excited for that one. I've seen a little bit of the gameplay, but anytime you can get a Super Mario Party game anywhere, especially for the Switch, now that we're looking for games for it right now, that's going to be awesome.
I have to say, I think that Nintendo's made the right decision to kind of reset with their intellectual property and kind of dig deep and come up with really good versions of each of their, bread and butter games. Mario Party, the Mario Tennis looks really fun.
Yes.
They've got the Zelda and Mario Odyssey games were incredible. The Kirby Star Allies game is really good. What was interesting to me about this Super Mario Party game is that it is going to allow for online play with leaderboards.
Oh my gosh.
So it's going to utilize the full kind of online capabilities that Nintendo is going to be rolling out later this year. And also, I'm really excited to see what they can do with having multiple tablets or the little Joy-Cons to kind of change up how the mini games are played. What I will say is I'm going to be very disappointed with this game if it follows the trend of the last few.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're all in this kind of cart and you go around, and
it's the worst.
Got to go back to the way it used to be with a game board. And
absolutely, I totally agree. And don't fall too in love with like how fast can you shake the Joy-Con. You know what I mean? Like that seemed to be like a lot of the games for like the Wii or the Wii U was like. Right. Take the controller and who can shake it the fastest or who can like make a circle. You know what I mean? It's cool to incorporate it every once in a while, but like some of the other games where you just got to move around, I like more interactive games that aren't just like how fast can you pull on your controller. I don't know.
Right, with the giant jump rope of flame or the big balls where you got to bounce each other off the platform. Like, those are oldie but goodie mini games.
Absolutely. I'm excited for that. I'll obviously be picking that one up. I'm excited to get any good new Switch games for my collection there. But moving on, Assassin's Creed Odyssey. I'll be honest with you, I've never beaten an Assassin's Creed game. I've started I've started an Assassin's Creed game before, maybe two of them. I couldn't tell you what they were. I know they're good games, and I know a lot of people are loving them. But how many do they have now with Assassin's Creed Odyssey? And are you excited for this one?
I'm really not. I really liked the first three Assassin's Creed games with Altair and Ezio. I felt like felt really invested in the overarching story with, I think the character's name was Desmond. And then when they got past him, I kind of fell off the wagon with Assassin's Creed Odyssey, or Assassin's Creed in general.
Yeah.
I played Black Flag, which, to be fair, was a beautiful game, but it ended abruptly, and I don't know. I feel like this is one of those franchises that's kind of being milked past its prime.
Yeah, no, I agree, and but I will admit it looks good. Like as far as like quality wise and scenery, it looks pretty awesome, but it doesn't look like an Assassin's Creed game. Like if you just took Assassin's Creed off of it and said what game is this, I would have no idea. It just looks like Roman Empire or something. You know what I mean? Like it looks odd.
Yeah, to be fair, it seems like interestingly, what I've heard is that it's going to be the most RPG like that you've been able to do, and it's also the oldest in the timeline of the human race.
Okay.
For the Assassin's Creed, so we'll see how it goes. If it gets good reviews, I might pick it up when it's $20 or $30 at GameStop.
Yeah, for sure. Nothing wrong with doing that. Speaking of games that have run their course and stuck around too long, Call of Duty Black Ops 4 on October 12th. That's coming out, and of course, it seems like every year they're churning out another Call of Duty. They were on a horrible path of just basically making Halo light, where they're just like, let's make basically jetpacks, and let's make outer space, and let's do this. I'm hoping with this game, I don't know that I'm going to get it, but my fondest memories of Call of Duty were Black Ops and Modern Warfare for the Xbox 360 back in the day for that generation. If they can get anything back from the Black Ops games that they did in the past and just make it cleaner, this could be a successful game for them. Maybe.
Yeah, what's interesting is they actually are bringing back some of the classic popular maps from the other Call of Duty games. And they also, I believe, released Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for free on the PlayStation Plus platform. So if you have PlayStation Plus and want to grab a free Call of Duty Black Ops to play some maps, I think it's available for a limited time.
Yeah, my favorite part about that game was the Sticks and Stones game mode, where you just I think you had like a hatchet and what was it? Hatchet and the crossbow. And it was just like pandemonium all the time. It was pretty sweet.
What?
Yeah, there was they had a bunch of mini games where you could go online. Well, I wouldn't say mini games, but different game modes. There was gun game. There was Sticks and Stones. There was one in the chamber. Was it one in the chamber? I think one in the chamber where it was basically one shot kill. Everybody only had one bullet, and to get a bullet, you had to kill somebody.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, those game modes. If they bring those back, I may be a little more inclined to get in there, because the traditional grind of a team deathmatch over and over again in Call of Duty, especially, I don't even think they're putting out a story for this one. There's not even the campaign. It's just, this is Call of Duty online is basically what this is. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see how that one goes. Moving on, Starlink. I don't even know what this one is. Starlink Battle for Atlas. Are you familiar with any of that?
Not at all.
Okay, October 12th, that one's coming out. We can just gloss over that one. Battlefield 5, I got Battlefield one time. I got murdered for hours on end over and over again without ever making an impact, and I just turned it back in. I was like, I'm done. I checked out. Have you ever Battlefielded?
I have Battlefielded. I think I played Battlefield 3 or 4. What I liked about Battlefield is the vehicles and that it's more gritty and feels more real.
Yeah.
But because it feels more real, you die in like 2 shots.
Yes.
And it's not fun.
It really is. I was just like, all right, I just spawned. Let's go see what I can do. Let's see if I can find somebody. You run outside, and somebody snipes you from like a spot that they've just been camping in the entire game.
Much like PUBG.
Yeah, pretty much. Moving on, October 26th, end of October, Red Dead Redemption 2. Very excited for this game. I've only played a little bit of the first one. Sadly, I've never actually beat the whole game. I wound up getting it very cheaply at the end of the run for my Xbox 360, and I played a little bit of it, but I never actually gave it the time of day. But the more I see a Red Dead Redemption 2, I'm just super giddy about this one.
Yeah, who doesn't like being a cowboy?
Yeah,
Open world cowboy game.
It's awesome. It looks pretty sweet. It's basically Grand Theft Auto in the Wild Wild West. So I'm pretty amped for that one. Do you plan on playing that one?
Yes, that'll be on the list, and I don't know if it has multiplayer capabilities, but if it had anything like the squads from GTA 5 where you and cowboy buddies could go do heists and shit, that would be freaking crazy.
Yeah, I don't think I'd seen anything about online, and that may have been one of the fallbacks for them, was that they didn't have any online mode planned, but that can always change. Well, I mean, I guess it's coming out in a few months, but I haven't looked into it. But maybe at some point they can kind of port over like a GTA online type thing like that. But that'd be pretty sweet. Moving on to Fallout 76, November 14th this year. Are you a Fallouter? Because I think I got Fallout 4. And I played that for a little while, and I basically just, I don't know what happened. I just kind of fizzled out.
Fallout, I got Fallout 4 as well, and I really, really liked it. The challenge with Fallout games, just like Skyrim and other games like that, is there's just so much to do, and it can get overwhelming, especially for working adults.
Yeah, that's exactly what happened with me, is that I had never played one before. I heard all about like New Vegas and how everybody loved Fallout in general, and I looked at it. Everything looked amazing, and when I started playing it, I was very excited, and I got into it, and I was just doing all these little things. It was so interactive and so cool to see. It's just at some point I was like, I can't do all this. You know what I mean? I can't invest this much time into one game. But I guess if I whittled it all down and was super, for some reason, just fizzled out. I don't know. It wasn't uninteresting. It just wasn't for me, I think.
Well, if you're ready to throw your life away, Fallout 76 is going to be an MMO for Fallout fans to explore more of the Fallout world.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Fallout fans are going to be super excited about this one. The way it looks, it looks pretty much like most of the other ones, but it is going to be an exciting thing. And anytime you can get a new Fallout. Oh, this will be the second Fallout, right, for PS4 and
yes, I believe Fallout 4 came out when PS4 was pretty new.
Yeah,
I actually got it for PC.
Oh, very nice. All right, at the end, I guess a couple days after Fallout 76 comes out, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee come out, and I'll be honest with you, when I saw the release and the video for this, I know that they were hyping up a Pokemon game for the Switch. Pokemon Quest has been out for a while now. I downloaded that for the Switch, and I'll be honest with you, it looks absolutely ridiculous. It looks like Pokemon Minecraft. It's a pretty fun little game just to mess around with. Pokemon Quest is free right now on the eShop on your Switch. If you have it, download that. It's a cheesy little free Pokemon game. You may get addicted to it because my fiance or wife, I should say, I can't say fiance anymore. We're married now. But she actually has been playing it. Kristen's been playing it nonstop. She's blowing me away right now in that game. But
I might have to snag it.
Yeah, get it for free, and then obviously it'll buy you some time until Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Let's Go Eevee come out in November 16th, and that looks like to me it's a genius idea where they're kind of bringing in the hype from Pokemon Go and all the users that they have on Pokemon Go. It's kind of like a good bridge to kind of ease them into handheld Pokemon games. I'm excited for it. I haven't been playing Pokemon Go in a while. But to me, this is awesome. It looks pretty fun.
My understanding is that this is going to be a game that is quote unquote cross-platform, where you can play it on your phone, you can play it on your Switch, and you can play it on your Game Boy. At least that's what I thought I saw in the release trailer. And the other part of this is we're going back to Kanto for this game, correct?
Yeah, that's what I saw an article where they compared pictures and of the backgrounds from the trailers, and they're like, they basically laid it back out. We're going back to Kanto, and it's going to it's almost like a fresh reboot for everybody who's playing Pokemon Go.
And for those of you that are not familiar with Pokemon, Kanto is the region from the original Pokemon Red and Blue games.
Yes. Oh my God.
So it'll be another kind of entry point for new and old Pokemon fans alike. I really hope that they come out with a more robust Pokemon game for the Switch, probably in 2019.
Yes, I will say they are. There was 3 announcements for the Pokemon when they came on. Nintendo released it, and it was Pokemon Quest, Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee, and then a traditional. They said the more handheld oriented Pokemon game coming out for the Switch, and I'm from what I see from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, if it can be like that with a little more freedom and more traditional, obviously more traditional Pokemon features, I'm already giddy for it. I'm excited.
Yeah, and with the Switch, like, who knows how much content they can pack into a Pokemon game. The hope in my back of my mind, my dream would be to visit any of the regions that have been previously visited, but we'll kind of see. We'll see what Nintendo cooks up for us in 2019.
Come out with like Pokemon Galaxy or Pokemon World or something like that.
Pokemon World would be cool.
Oh my God, it'd be amazing. Then they can't do Pokemon Moon. They just did Moon. Never mind. So Pokemon World, right? That tie everything together and introduce. I'm sure that if it's a new generation, they're going to introduce some more new Pokemon as well. So I'm super excited.
My suggestion would be that you could pick any of the starters, and depending on the starter that you pick, you start in that region.
Ooh, I like that. Now that'd be sweet. I'm excited for that. I'm gonna get Pokemon Let's Go, probably Pikachu instead of Eevee. I'll get Let's Go Pikachu, and that should buy enough time. That and another Nintendo exclusive that's coming out the month after on December 7th. This will buy us enough time, I think, to get to the next Pokemon game. It's Super Smash Bros., I should say, Ultimate.
There is a legitimate amount of hype for this game. There has been, well, let's put it this way. I felt like Smash 4, which came out on the Wii U, was probably the most balanced Smash that's come out. And for those hardcore players that really liked Melee, the developers for Smash Ultimate have discussed the fact that this game is going to feel a lot faster than Smash 4. It's going to include all the characters that have ever been in a Smash game, as well as fan favorite for a long, long time, Metroid's Ridley, and the Splatoon characters.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be awesome. I'll probably play the Splatoon characters for a little bit until I realize they're just. I'm assuming they're just gonna be shooting paint for the most of the time.
I heard, or I should say that I read that the Inklings play style pretty much lines up with how you might imagine it would if you've played Splatoon.
Yeah, be about the same thing where you're running around taking maybe a roller out every once in a while, rolling over people. It could work pretty well, I think. Interesting. To me, I'm a big fan of Waluigi, and the fact that this dude isn't in this game yet, it saddens me. I'll be honest.
Well, what's interesting is I also saw that Daisy would be in the game as an alternate quote-unquote skin for Peach, with kind of a semi-unique moveset.
Yeah.
So there may be room for a Waluigi in the game as a skin of another, maybe a Luigi skin, or maybe as their own character. The character I've wanted for the longest time, or characters, I should say, are Gino and Malo from the Super Mario RPG on the Super Nintendo game.
Ah, yes. I've seen it. I've never played it.
Oh my god,
I
it
know.
is probably one of the best Nintendo games in existence. And I have to say, with Nintendo and Square's recent rekindling of relationship, I don't think it's out of the question.
For that to come out for Switch at some point, like a refreshing of that one.
Or for those unique characters from the game to appear in Smash
Oh,
Ultimate.
okay. All right. Well, that'd be sweet too. I'm sure eventually they're going to add more. They have everything ever. Doesn't mean they're not going to put more in for DLC. Let's be honest. I mean, everybody's doing DLC nowadays. Even they did it on the Wii U, so they got to save some characters back to obviously hype that up. So, no, I'm definitely
But
excited for that.
you got to give Nintendo credit; they don't go crazy with the DLC.
No, it's not. Obviously, they don't hijack your game. I mean, you're still getting a game, and you're able to unlock things on your own, which is the best part about a game when you don't have to pay for it to get something out of it.
True that.
Last game of 2018 that was announced there. Just Cause. Is it Just Cause or is it Just Cause? I never know that.
I don't know. Just Cause.
Just Cause 4 is coming out, and I'll be honest with you. Just Cause 3, I downloaded for free on the PS Plus network, and it is one of the most ridiculous games I've ever played. But I had so much fun playing it though.
Is that the one with the crazy grappling hook and
yes,
physics?
The dude can grapple and just hook onto anything, and then whip out his parachute or his wingsuit at any time. It's like it's so ridiculous and unrealistic, but it is the most fun. One of the most fun games I've ever played. It's so ridiculous.
Oh man, I haven't played it, but I'll have to add it to my list because I've seen all those clips on Reddit and all, and it's been fun to see kind of what players can cook up.
It's unbelievable, dude. If you can find it on the PS Plus or PSN network, just give it a shot. Just Cause 3, and it's. I don't know if I probably won't be knocking down the door for the number 4, but I think at some point I will give it a shot because it's just such stupid fun. All right, we have a lot more to get through, so we can probably start busting through these real quick. But 2019 is going to be another huge year as well, and I know that they came out with a lot of announcements here and a lot of to be announced dates. I'm sure 2019 is going to be a little bit stronger than what we have here. But starting off in January, Kingdom Hearts 3. You down for some Kingdom Hearts action?
You know, I like RPGs and I like Square and I like Disney. I played the first 2 Kingdom Hearts, and I have actually the 2.5 game on my shelf. But this has been a long time in the making.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's finally being released, I think, is a relief to Kingdom Hearts fans. I'm not as invested, but I really hope for their sake that it ties up the series nicely with Sora's story wrapping up.
Yeah, I haven't played any of it. I'll be honest with you. It looks like fun. I just never got around to playing it when I was a kid. And then I don't know what, it was really confusing to me. There was like a 2, then there was like a 2.5, a 2.8, a version 2. I didn't even know what was going on, and then now we have 3. So I don't even know what those middle games were. But I just never got into it.
It's pretty insane, and it will take you hours to decipher what even order to play them in.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I really liked, though, that was announced was that they will be releasing a bundle, so you can get 1, 2, 2.5, the Chain of Memories game, all the other ones, so that you can kind of play them all, as well as Kingdom Hearts 3.
Okay, that's pretty sweet. January 25th, Resident Evil 2, which is, I mean, there's so many Resident Evils. There's more than 2, I promise you. Any thoughts about that one?
Admittedly, the only Resident Evil game I've even played was the one that came out on the GameCube.
Nice.
I'm not one for horror games, really, so I don't know if I'll pick this game up, but from what I've read online, it seems like a lot of people are really excited for this remake.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when I had the VR, the VR one for the last Resident Evil was unbelievable. I mean, it is super. I'm not a fan of super scary games either, and I'm not saying this is super scary, but just horror games in general. I just like to play games for fun. I don't want to go to bed crying. You know what I mean?
Right, that's definitely a game that you play with the lights on.
Yeah, definitely. Crackdown 3 in February 2019. I played Crackdown 1 on Xbox 360, or wasn't it? I think that's when they came out with it, 360. It's a pretty fun little game. It's a nice little world they have built, so I'm sure people who played the original are super excited for that one.
I didn't play that game.
Yeah, it was different. It was kind of along the same lines. I mean, of just like an open world, do whatever you want kind of thing. All right, February 22nd, 2019, we have EA's Anthem, right? I'm pretty sure EA's putting this one out, right? And it just looks like it screams Destiny to me.
Yeah, it's definitely EA's answer to Destiny with the pretty weak release of Destiny 2. I think that they were emboldened. Though I've heard initial thoughts on Anthem from Destiny fans are pretty weak. I've heard from my friends that played Destiny 2 pretty heavily that they won't be picking up Anthem unless it shows them that it's worth grabbing.
Yeah, I'm not super into that one, so I probably will pass on it unless it blows everybody away after the fact and I hear a review, but I have no interest in it really. Tom Clancy's The Division 2 on March 15th, 2019. You down with The Division? I know that they showed a lot the last E3 where they rolled out The Division, and it looked like something totally different than what they wound up releasing, but Division 2, what do you think?
You know, I've heard... I didn't play the original game, so it's hard for me to judge. I've played Tom Clancy games in the past, and they've always been fun, tactical type games. So I imagine that if you're into tactical multiplayer games, that this might be something to look forward to.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the concept is fantastic, and they just have to worry about executing it at this point. Let's see. Moving on. Jedi Fallen Order. I didn't hear much about it, but anytime you can get me a Jedi Star Wars game, I'm halfway interested. Just as long as they don't blow it.
Yeah, we'll see. I think that a lot of folks really liked the KOTOR Knights of the Old Republic game.
Yes.
That was kind of an RPG style Star Wars game. So if this is anything like that, then I'm sure it'll find some success.
Absolutely. I'd be down to play something like that. Devil May Cry has sometime in 2019. Is that interested in you? I don't think I've ever played a Devil May Cry game, but it's Devil May Cry 5 coming out in 2019.
It's a popular PlayStation franchise. I've played a couple of the games. It seems that this continues the story for the main characters that everybody's kind of been following over the course of these years. I think it's something that fans are looking forward to. Action kind of a game.
All right, up next, Microsoft and Xbox is releasing Gears 5. Is it not Gears of War anymore? It just looks like it says Gears 5. And I know there's a lot of fans. I played the early games for the 360 back in the day, but I haven't followed the story since. Have you been playing any Gears or know anybody who's been into that?
I played them back in the day. I mean, I can only imagine that the war is over if they're not including it in the title.
Yeah, enough people have been sawed in half by chainsaws that I think they're ending the war. So that'll be exciting. I know a couple people with Xbox Ones that they're definitely excited about this, but I haven't really been a huge fan of it. So, but it's a huge game. It's one of their bread and butter games. That and Halo, they just kind of keep churning those out all day and keep making money. And then a lot of these ones, the rest of these ones here, the release dates haven't been announced, but there's a few here that I want to hit that are going to be exciting. Well, speaking of Xbox, Halo Infinite. Another Halo game as well. So, I mean, they got Gears of War 5 coming out in 2019, and I'm sure probably late 2019 they'll push Halo Infinite out. I almost got an Xbox One to play the Halo 5 game until I realized it wasn't. Everyone was kind of lackluster about it. They weren't really excited about it. But I do kind of miss that Halo from the 360 days.
I'm actually going to be doing a Halo streaming series to play through all the games.
Ooh.
So you fans can keep an eye out for that. If you don't want to play the game, but you want to experience the story with us here at the Chunk.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
That's one of my planned series, along with the God of Wars and some of those first-player or one-player Nintendo games that have been on my shelf.
Very nice. Looking forward to that. Cyberpunk 2077 looks incredible. It was a lot. I mean, there hasn't been much released outside of I think a few images and a little bit of like gameplay trailer action, but I didn't hear about any of it. I'm super excited for it though. It looks awesome.
That's like robots and shit, right?
Yeah, it's like future. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but it was just a future. It looked like an open world, a lot of neon lights, a lot of crazy stuff. But I'm excited for that one.
Almost like a Blade Runner.
Yes, yeah,
video game
for sure. I'm excited to see that one. Elder Scrolls. Let's see if I can get my Roman numerals correct. Is that 6?
That's a 6.
That is 6. Elder Scrolls 6. I think of the first game I got when I got my 360 was the Elder Scrolls. I forget which one it was, but I played that for a little bit, and that's my only experience with Elder Scrolls. Are you a little more well versed in the Elder Scrolls world?
I've played Skyrim, and I played a little Elder Scrolls Online, and I played some of the older Elder Scrolls game. I believe it was Baldur's Gate on the GameCube. It's a classic series. The world is humongous.
Yeah.
The lore is really deep. I think fans are very excited for this game.
Huge fan base, and yes, they're definitely going to crush it with that one. Coming out, well, these are all to be announced yet. We're definitely looking forward to figuring out when these last two come out. At least I am. Ghost of Tsushima. I'm assuming I'm saying that right. Ghost of Tsushima. The gameplay that I saw from that looks insane. It looks like a real dark samurai game, and I'm super geeked about this one.
Yeah, I mean, just like we were saying with Red Dead Redemption, if you want to be a samurai, you should get this game.
Yeah, I'm excited to see when that's coming out, so I can get a little more excited about it. I need these hard dates to take the edge off. Kind of like for this one, this will be the last one we talk about in this podcast, and it is called The Last of Us Part 2. From what I've seen from this game, it looks rough. Like, not bad rough, but like it's gonna be fun, man. It's gonna be pretty dark as well, though, as usual.
I was honestly surprised at the gameplay trailer at the Sony presentation. It looks like a really freaking hard game.
Oh yes, we need a challenge. We need. I think the first one, when I played it, it took me way too long to play the first one. Not play through, but to actually take the time to put the game in and actually play it. I was blown away when I played it. I wound up playing for the first time on the PS4. I didn't have it for the PS3, but the remastered PS4 version, I still own it. I was like, I'm not getting rid of this baby, because it was one of the best games I'd ever played in my life. And
Dang,
I'm super.
It's on my shelf. It's on the list.
You haven't played Last of Us the first one?
I haven't.
Dude, you have to throw that one in. I'm not even joking. It is one of my favorite games of all time. Like it's right up there, top 3 best games. It just great story, great cinematics, and it's not. I don't know. You don't get walked through it. You know what I mean? It's not like it's just there's stuff. You just kind of it's just super gritty, and it's so much fun. So I'm excited to see.
Yeah, I'll have to add that.
Yeah,
hey, one shout out to the Death Stranding game. That is kind of a freaky Resident Evil-esque game. If you guys haven't seen the trailers for it, you should watch it. Is that the one? Be like, what am I watching?
That's the one with.
Seems pretty interesting.
What's his name? The actor from not Daryl Dixon from Walking Dead. Why can't I remember his name? He's like the only. Oh my gosh,
Daryl.
It's just Daryl from The Walking Dead.
It's
Norman Reedus.
Yes,
That's the one. Okay, it took me a while.
The game looks like it has a really crazy dystopian feel to it. There's these entities that are unexplained that seem to basically have wiped out the human race. Other than that, all you can tell is that Daryl is basically a delivery dude who has to deal with these creatures.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That I saw very little bit of it, but once I saw it was Norman Reedus, I was like, okay, this is interesting. I'm a Walking Dead fan. Well, for now I am, until they keep driving the show into the ground. But I am excited to see that one too. There's so many different games coming out, and I honestly don't know where I'm going to find the time. But I'd have to start with finishing what I have, which I still have Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm like on the edge of finishing Far Cry 5, but I got to get my backlog finished before I can start taking on new projects, like the Spider-Man game that's coming out here pretty soon. So I'm super excited for that.
Sweet.
All right. Well, I guess we can wrap that one up for now. We'll be back to normal, I believe, next week with the actual traditional Chunk podcast. This has been the E3 Expo recap. If you've made it this far, wow, way to go. You're definitely a trooper for sticking around. But you got a lot of valuable information and basically what we think about these games. You can follow us on Twitter at the Chunk Pod. You can find us on Facebook, like us on there. It's the same thing. Just search for the Chunk Pod and give us a like while you're there. We're looking to build up our followers without having to actually pay for them. Thank you. We can wrap the show up. Thank you, JJ, for sticking around, and we'll catch you next week.
All right. Have a good week, everybody.
See ya.